Hi folks, so this is question 2. Uh, so the first question just gives us an equation that you have to solve, and it's got, so on the left hand side it's got brackets there, and then on the right hand side it's straightforward enough, it's got a 4x and a minus 5. Let's multiply in anyway, so whenever you see brackets like this, first step is to just multiply in. So we're going to do 2 times 3x and then 2 times minus 5. So 2 times 3x would be 6x, and 2 times minus 5 would be minus 10. And then we still got a plus 8 here, so I'm just going to bring that down, and then equals 4x minus 5. So I'm just bringing down everything else then, really. So then, well, I can put the minus 10 and the plus 8 together anyway. Minus 10 plus 8, double check on the calculator if we're not sure, it's going to be minus 2. So 6x minus 2 equals 4x minus 5. And then what you got to do is you got to get the x's onto one side and the numbers onto the other. So I'm going to take the smaller one of the x's. So I'm going to take the 4x, which is on the right hand side, and I'm going to move it across. So whatever way you've learned it, really, either move it across or you're going to subtract 4x from both sides. So one way or the other, you should get 6x minus 4x on the left hand side. So that's going to give you 2x. Minus 2 equals it's minus 5 is left on the right hand side. And then you're going to try and get this minus 2 away then from the 2x. So you're going to get rid of that or move it over. So I'm going to add 2 to both sides. So if I add 2 on the left hand side, it just gets rid of that minus 2. So I'm left with 2x equals, and then minus 5 plus 2 is minus 3. So minus 5 plus 2 is minus 3. And then my last step, x is beside the 2, so I'm going to divide by 2. So x is equal to minus 3 over 2, and then that's the final answer. So x is minus 3 over 2. So part B then, right, so this is an indices question. It's very simple if you know the rules of all the rules of indices. So best thing to do is look at the top part first. So you've got 3 to the power of 4 to the power of 5. Now there's a very simple rule that when there's a power raised to another power, so 3 to the power of 4 to the power of 5, what you can do with them is you can just multiply them. So you can multiply the two powers together. That will just be 3 to the power of 20. And then I'm just going to keep the 3 to the power of 6 on the bottom here. So now you've got 3 to the power of 20 divided by 3 to the power of 6. So there's another rule of indices then, that when you've got two numbers with when you've got a number with the same base, so in this case 3, raised to different powers and they're being divided, what you do is you subtract the power. So that's the same thing as 3 to the power of 20 divided by 3 to the power of 6. So you may have seen that. That might look more familiar to some people. So what you do is you just subtract the power. So 20 take away 6 is 14. So it's going to be 3 to the power of 14. And then that's the final answer. So rules of indices are when you've got the same base, different powers, when they're being multiplied, then you add them. When they're being divided, like here in the last part, you subtract. And when you've got a power raised to another power, like the first thing we did, you multiply. And then other ones are that any number raised to the power of 0 is 1. And then you've got your fractional ones and your negative powers and so on, but they're a little more advanced. But it's only 2 simple rules of indices there for that question. Part C is simultaneous equations. Now, so I'm going to write them out a little bit bigger here. So 3x plus 2y equals 1, and 7x plus 5y equals minus 2. Now, the first thing you have to do here, there's a few little different ways people learn these, but first thing you have to do really, that most teachers teach is, you've got to make either the x coordinate, x coefficient, or the y coefficient the same. Um, Now it's actually tricky enough here because you've got a 3x and a 7x, and then you've got a 2y and a 5y. So there's nothing you can multiply straight away that just one of the equations that's going to make either of them same. For this, it doesn't actually matter, I think, whether you pick the x's or the y's. It's the same amount of work for each. I'm just going to go with the y's just for no reason at all. So we've got a 2y and a 5y. So what you've got to do is you got to multiply them so that they'll be the same. So the only way that you can do that is if you multiply the top one by 5, and then I'm going to multiply the bottom one by -2. And this is the way I always show people how to do it. What we're trying to do is we're trying to turn it into something like, say, 4y minus 4y, because they would cancel out, or uh, minus 2y, 2y, something like that, because they'd cancel it, because minus 2y and 2y is 0. So let's multiply anyway. So let's multiply the whole top equation here by 5. So we've got 15x. 5 times 3x is 15x. 5 times 2y is 10y. And then equals, so keep your equals in, and then you still have to multiply the 1. So 5 times 1 is 5. Let's multiply the bottom by -2 here, and you'll see why I'm doing that in a second. So 7x times -2 is -14x. 5y times -2 is -10y, equals, and then -2 times -2 is +4. Now look what we've got here in the middle. Now the reason I multiplied the top one by 5 and the bottom one by -2 is so I would get this in the middle. I get 10y minus 10y. So you need to understand that by multiplying the top one by 5 and the bottom one by -2, you get 10y and minus 10y in the middle, and they'll cancel out. And then because they cancel out, all you've got then is x's. So let's just add everything then. So 15x plus -14x would just be x, or 1x. Keep your equals, and then obviously the y's cancel out. So then 5 plus 4 is 9. So some teachers teach it that you subtract there in the middle and you have to change the signs. But because I multiplied by the -2 up there first, it means that I add everything then, and it just makes that step a little bit clearer, I think. But there's not much difference really in which way you do it. Now I found out that x is 9 here, and then the last step always with simultaneous equations is to find out the other one. So I found out what x is, now I need to find out what y is. So I'm going to take the top equation here. You can take the top or the bottom, but I'm trying to take the top one. So I'm going to put in a 9 now instead of the x. So I'm substituting back in really. So 3 times 9 plus 2y equals 1. 3 times 9 is 27 plus 2y equals 1. Now I'm going to take 27 away from both sides. So 2y equals 1, take away 27 is minus 26. And then I'm going to divide by 2. So y equals -30. And that's everything then for question